Hello there. The Cleveland Browns, since their return to the NFL in 1999, have been a real symbol of mediocrity in professional sports, posting a cumulative win-loss record of 95 24 and 1. In a twist of irony, however, the first season that they really began showing promise was 2001. It was marred by one of the most controversial calls of not only the season but since the turning of the millennium. Now, my mission today is to inform you about Bottlegate and the season, how it unfolded beforehand, and how the game affected the remainder of the league year itself. Now, as an avid NFL fan who has followed the league since 2013, I've been referred to as a walking football encyclopedia, but I figured that this incident held a lot more underneath its surface to uncover. Now we'll take a glance at the magnitude of this game from the weeks prior, especially for the Cleveland faithful themselves. Now it's important to look back at what happened to the Browns leading into this December 16th matchup, even a whole 6 years prior. Art Modell, the team owner from 1961 to 1996, announced the relocation of the Browns to Baltimore, of course later named the Ravens, sparking an outrage among fans and even triggering the demolition of the team's original stadium. Now, while the return of the team in 1999 rekindled a sense of hope into the city, the Ravens, the team that Cleveland itself built, won the Super Bowl at the end of the 2000 season, and it meant a lot more to the city after starting 6-6 following two disappointing campaigns to open up their return, marked by a combined 5-27 record. On the other side of the football, the Jacksonville Jaguars really had nothing left to cheer about, with a 4-8 record heading into the week, especially with a struggling rushing attack and lack of balance on offense without perennial running back Fred Taylor in the starting lineup. All they were looking to play was spoiler, and especially into this game, as pivotal as it was for Cleveland to keep their playoff hopes alive. At the time, the two were division rivals in the AFC Central Division, the Browns victorious as the road team by the final score of 23-14 in their first matchup in Jacksonville earlier in late September of that season. It was the final minute of this game, however, that would ultimately put the final nail in the coffin of Cleveland's campaign in 2001. Now, the game itself leading to regulation's end wasn't anything too special. Jacksonville only carried a 9-0 lead heading into halftime off of 3 field goals, but an interception returned for a touchdown by Cleveland really narrowed that margin down, and with the score at 15-10, the Browns, led by former University of Kentucky Wildcats standout Tim Couch, looked to bury the game away late. And it was a 4th down conversion inside the Jaguars' 10-yard line to rookie wide receiver Quincy Morgan out of Florida International University that triggered an absolute meltdown of officiating, mainly following a spike of the football by Couch to stop the clock with 48 seconds left. Terry McCauley, however, the game's head official, decided to review Morgan's catch, bypassing an NFL rule that prohibited examination of a play prior to the last one. And the ruling was eventually overturned and resulted in possession being rewarded back to the Jaguars, which ultimately ended the football game. Now, although the NFL claimed that a review was requested before Couch spiked the football, it still caused an outrage among fans, and they responded in throwing bottles and other types of debris onto the field, prompting McCauley to call an end to the game early. Bottlegate, as it was dubbed, was the exclamation point on a landslide of season's end, especially with Cleveland entering in on back-to-back losses. Controversy dragged on through the coming weeks of a season far from salvation. Carmen Policy, the president and CEO of the Browns at the time, received a lot of backlash after refusing to condemn the actions of fans in response to the call, commenting, "As I said, I am not criticizing our fans at all." Policy would state later, "I don't think Cleveland's going to take a black eye over this," only for the team to completely miss the postseason entirely at 7-9 and tied for 3rd place in the AFC Central Division. But the loss was a devastating blow to a season full of promise early on, the incident essentially sucking the wind out of the sails of a young team as they were. They were a team with hopes of restoring a title to the city, who only a few years prior reeled over the loss of their beloved team. Bottlegate was an absolute haymaker that the Cleveland Browns just couldn't recover from. I mean, who knows Who knew that a simple Week 14 matchup against a team at the bottom of the barrel and a lackluster performance of offense would lead to such a dispute that resonated through the beginning of the century and at the end of the season? Despite how critical the call was and all the adversity that the organization endured in the past 20 or so years, the Browns and their faithful remained resilient. Um, with the long list of quarterbacks over the years coming to an end, especially with the emergence of Baker Mayfield, Cleveland has a bright future ahead of them, a future that may hold an NFL title to the city that has been striving for so long for one.